Hello, welcome to Flower Juice. My name's John McDonald, and today we're going to look at the hand-tied bouquet, and specifically what we're going to create is a thistles, or the eryngium, so sea holly and roses. So this is going to be our main feature of our bouquet. So ingredient wise, we've got the lovely thistles, we've got these beautiful orange roses, and I think actually this is a good colour combination. And then we've got some mixed foliage. So I've got a little bit of eucalyptus. This is called leatherleaf fern. I've got some asparagus leaves, a little bit of asparagus. That's just for a little bit of change in texture. I've got some berried eucalyptus, a little bit of hard ruskus, and we've got some coccuylus as well. So we've got a nice range of foliage, and at the moment the fashion is really for a mix of foliage. So what we're going to do, I think, initially is we'll just create a base of foliage, put in our thistles and then add our roses. But there's lots of different ways that you can approach a hand tie. What I like to do is create my hand tie in my left hand and just hold this quite loosely. So this has got a nice shape, so we're going to have this in the core of our arrangement. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the leather leaf round there just to hold it. So when I'm coming in, I'm basically creating a spiral. So if I come in at the back, or the front for you, I'm going this way. And if I come in to the front, I'm doing the opposite. So essentially here, we're going to end up with the stems spiraling round. Now, a good way to work is to maybe have like a central piece, whatever that is. So that could be a lily, or in this case, it's the foliage. And then we work in sets of 3. So this gives us a bit of balance. So now's a good time maybe to put in our thistles. And you're maybe thinking, why would you want thistles? Well, they're quite popular. It can work with a theme, but they also are very structural. So just by adding these thistles, we've created a framework that we can add more foliage or more flowers into. So I'm just going to add our bits and bobs. So I'm really just spacing our foliage out round this. And when you're wanting to create a bouquet like this, what you need to do is you need to set down all your materials. You want to clean off the stems. So if there's any foliage that's going to be below the water line, you want to remove that. You want to remove any thorns or anything jaggy that would cause damage. Plus it's not nice to handle, to be honest. This is something you can do. You can move the bouquet round as you're working in your hand. That's one way to work. I find with hand ties that there's lots of different ways to approach them, and actually you'll end up working each one slightly differently depending on the materials. So certain styles of bouquet lend themselves to different ways of working. I'm just putting this coccuylus round so that we're getting a nice mix. So we've got this as a focal point, we've got things nicely spaced out, and we can just put this fern in so that it kind of comes in as well. It can kind of lap in. So in a way, we've created a bunch. Now this, you can really see the spiral that we've got, and we want that to be nice and clean. But this has created a base for our flowers. So what we're going to do is, we've got these lovely roses and they're nice and straight. They've got a lovely stem actually with very little thorns. Now because we know how this structure works, we can slot our roses in. So if I'm going into the centre, that's just going to go in straight up and down. If I want to come to this side, I can literally lie it in like here and actually just work like that. So it's possible for me to add these roses using that spiral that's there and just slotting things in. If you're not sure about how to do it completely at the back, you can just move your bouquet round. So I've picked 12 roses because that's always a good start and a nice number. And actually I sometimes think if you get a special order and someone wants 60 roses in a bouquet, it can just look too much. I think 12, 24, that's nice. But I do quite like having foliage because I think it really sets it off and it really makes the whole thing look quite natural. So we've created our bouquet. Now, when you're making a hand tie, if you find that your hand is getting tired, it's maybe because you're holding it too tight, but you can use the bench just to hold it and to give your hand a rest. So I'm just going to get a bit of tying ribbon, and this is like a twine that's got a flatness to it. But you can use a natural one, you can use whatever you prefer. Some people like to use the paper covered wire, that's also good. And I'm just going round it a couple of times and I'm just tying it a couple of times. So let's have a look. We've got our bouquet where everything's nicely spaced out, and we've got a nice clean spiral here. So it's up to you now what you're going to do with this. You might want to hide this and place this in a vase. This would look amazing actually in a vase. Depends if it's for yourself or if it's for a gift. But if we were going to do this for a gift, what I would tend to do is wrap it in cellophane. So for my cellophane, I've cut myself some sheets. So not quite a square. We've got like a rectangle of cellophane. And I'm just going to fold it like that. So we get 4 corners. Now that's one. And another one. So we've got 2. And this is going to create a collar for our flowers. So I'm just putting it so that this tied point is down at the base of our 2 collars. And then it's just a case of bringing that over. So all we need is one bit to do that side and one bit to do this side. So again, we can tie this. So I'm just going to scrunch in that collar there. And when I'm tying it, I want to tie it all in one place. So we don't want to have a variation in where we're tying, because then you're going to lose that nice neck that we have. So what we're going to do here is we're going to aqua pack this. So to aqua pack it, what I do is I turn it upside down and we're going to cut straight across. So we've cut straight across. I'm just going to let that open. We're going to cut out the middle stems, and this allows us to have a bouquet that basically stands. So to aqua pack it, we take a bigger piece of cellophane, and this is one that is literally square. You can only really aqua pack it to a certain length, and that's very much dependent on the size of this bottom sheet. Now most cellophanes are all of the same width. So what I want is I want this to land in the middle of this square. So if I just put it slightly higher than center, and then I can bring that corner to that corner. So just to show you then, what I tend to do is tuck that up and bring that one across, tuck that one in, bring that one across. So we've basically made like a nappy. And then it's just a case of tying that together. Now, again, I'm not letting go with my left hand, but we're just taking some more ribbon rounds there and tying that off. So when I wrapped the bottom here, I was being careful not to squash this. If you actually come in tight, you'll change the shape of these stems, you'll lose some volume, and you might make it so that it doesn't stand. This should still stand quite happily. What we're going to do is we're going to add some water for the bouquet, and it's just a case of getting a watering can and pouring that straight in. So just do it slowly and you'll see the water come down. What I like to do is I like to fill it to the tying point. You don't know when you give flowers to someone if they're actually really going to take care of them. So at least if it's up to here, then you know that those flowers are going to be in water for as long as possible. So we've got our beautiful hand tie, and really then all we need is a nice gift bag to put that in. and we can finish with a nice ribbon. So I've picked the purple really to pick up on our eryngium, and then for our ribbon I've got this lovely orange to match our roses. So we've picked a nice colour scheme that's quite vibrant. If you're not sure how to make a bow, we do have one of our videos shows you how to make a couple of variations. And I'm just making a bow really that's like a double loop. I would call it a chocolate box style. It's quite nice and simple to do. And then we're just going to tie that round one of our cords and just finish that off. And it's as simple as that. So we've got a beautiful hand-tied bouquet featuring thistles and roses, and it's been hand-tied and aqua packed and in a gift bag presentation. So all you need to do now is write a card, add some flower food, and give it to someone that you really care for. So we hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. If you'd like to click here, you can subscribe and keep up to date with all our videos, and tap that bell and you'll really be kept up to date with all the new ones that are coming. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon.